Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Will broken hearts find true love in Jack and Brooke's stunning romance? According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, executive producer and head writer Bradley Bell stated that Jack Finnegan will return in 2025. Who will be Brooke's next partner now that Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes are back together? Is Jack the one who helps Brooke get past the Waffle King and mend her wounded heart? Let's talk about the possibility after you finish reading. Waffling Ridge Forrester. According to B&B teasers, Ridge appears to switch women every few months. Once again, Ridge has succeeded. Ridge dumped Brooke just as Bill Spencer was asking her why they hadn't set a wedding date. Naturally, Ridge claimed that Brooke had betrayed him by accepting the position at Forrester Creations. Ridge started making moves on Taylor without even waiting 2 minutes. Therefore, Brooke may be correct when she says that Ridge will always want Taylor a bit more. B&B spoilers, the heartbreak of Brooke Logan. Ridge has broken Brooke's heart. Brooke, on the other hand, feels somewhat finished with Ridge. Even though Brooke adores him, he consistently acts in this manner. Brooke continues to pursue employment at Forrester Creations. But Brooke finds it quite difficult to concentrate at the moment. Recycled romances versus new pairings. According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke might turn to Bill. Bill has occasionally wished for another opportunity with Brooke. But fresh pairings are far more interesting than rehashed ones. Additionally, Bill is quite busy with Luna Nozawa. Romance is the last thing on Bill's mind because he cannot risk anyone discovering Luna in his home. So, is it possible that Brooke will move on from Ridge with Jack Finnegan? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, seductive romance? The main writer recently stated in an interview that Jack would return for the Luna narrative. It appears that Bill and Luna may soon reveal their secret. Jack might get in touch with Brooke if he comes back. Both are in the same age range and have lost close ones. But what would Steffi Forrester Finnegan think if Jack and Brooke started dating? When it comes to John Finn Finnegan, Steffi is extremely domineering. Indeed, it would be simple to imagine Steffi telling Finn to force Jack to break up with Brooke. Ridge Forrester took great satisfaction in being an intuitive designer who could capture the essence of an item of clothing with a single brushstroke. However, instinct failed him when he encountered Daphne Rose. Daphne was an attention-grabbing woman whose presence was like a storm, upsetting the atmosphere around her. Something about Daphne, something calculating, something uncompromising, put Ridge off balance, even though he had dealt with his share of power players. Their initial meeting turned into a collision rather than merely a meeting. A prominent member of the social elite in Los Angeles, Daphne had just joined Forrester Creations under the guise of a profitable collaboration. She was ebullient, unquestionably beautiful, and frighteningly self-assured. Ridge held out his hand, and Daphne returned the favor with a firm but determined hold. "Mister, I've heard so much about you, Forrester," she added in a silky voice. "I hope you fulfill the legend." The purpose of the meeting was supposedly business-related, a possible line partnership that would combine Forrester's design abilities with Daphne's marketing skills. Ridge, however, was unable to ignore the undercurrent. Daphne was more interested in control than she was in business. Her eyes never strayed during their chat, as if she were observing every action he took. Even Daphne's captivating presence may be overshadowed by a discovery that the Forrester family was struggling with at the time. Finn's normally calm and restrained father, Jack Finnegan, released a bombshell that rocked their world. At a family meal, Jack revealed a long-kept secret: his biological daughter was Luna Nozawa, the gifted and mysterious new designer at Forrester Creations. There was a startled quiet as the news departed the table. Finn's face was marked with a mixture of betrayal and confusion as he gazed at his father. "How long have you been keeping this a secret?" he insisted. Jack attempted to clarify, his voice heavy with remorse. "Finn, it wasn't the appropriate moment. I never intended to interfere with her life or yours. But I was unable to ignore the reality when Luna arrived at Forrester. Luna experienced a period of intense confusion as well as the validation of long-held concerns. Instead of discovering a family tie that muddled her sense of self, she had traveled to Los Angeles to establish herself in the fashion industry. Another conflict was developing at Forrester Creations while tensions remained high in the Finnegan home. Never one to back down from a fight, Lee Finnegan found herself at odds with Poppy Sinclair. Poppy was determined to restore her reputation because her recent betrayal had almost put the company in danger. But Lee wasn't feeling very forgiving. "You believe you can simply say you're sorry and go on?" In the Forrester offices, Lee confronted Poppy. "You endanger this family and this business. Are you even aware of the harm you have caused?" Defiant despite being surrounded, Poppy attempted self-defense. "I've acknowledged that I made a mistake. Are we unable to proceed?" Lee's answer was incisive. "Forgetting is not the same as moving on. Poppy, trust must be earned, and you have a long way to go before you regain it." Luna was pulled into the sphere of her new family as Lee and Poppy fought. The relationships were complicated. Lee was considering the ramifications of Jack's disclosure, Finn was cautious and protective, and Jack was keen to make amends. For her part, Luna exercised caution. Although she was grateful for Jack's efforts, she couldn't help but question whether his intentions were really altruistic. Daphne Rose was back at Forrester Creations, weaving her web. The boundaries between private and professional became increasingly hazy as her encounters with Ridge became more personal. Despite all of his knowledge, Ridge couldn't quite understand why he felt pulled to Daphne. She presented a problem, a riddle he was unable to unravel. However, not everyone found Daphne to be as captivating. Ever guardian of Ridge's and her family's heritage, Brooke Logan sensed trouble. She cautioned, "Be careful, Ridge," during a heated exchange. "Daphne isn't merely here for work. I don't trust her, and she has her own agenda." Ridge dismissed Brooke's worries, claiming he was capable of managing Daphne. Brooke, however, knew better in her heart. Ridge had a well-established history of being influenced by powerful, mysterious women, and Daphne was no different. Every character was at a crossroads as the drama developed. Ridge had to decide whether his relationship with Daphne was a fire that may burn him or a spark worth kindling. The difficulty for Luna was balancing her goals with her recently formed familial ties. Jack's confession made everyone reevaluate the past and how it affected their future, while Lee and Poppy's feud brought attention to the continuous fight for trust and atonement. The stakes were high and the results were unpredictable in typical Bold and the Beautiful way. Would Ridge allow himself to be seduced by Daphne, endangering his relationships and his discernment? Would Luna be able to handle the intricacies of her identity without becoming someone else? And would the families of Finnegan and Forrester manage to mend, or were they doomed to continue to fall apart? One thing was clear, the drama was far from ended even though the answers were still elusive. While some storylines fall into the narrative abyss, others shine as successes on the Bold and the Beautiful's constantly rotating wheel. Regretfully, the most recent chapter in the decades-long love triangle between Brooke Logan, Ridge Forrester, and Taylor Hayes has been thrown into the figurative trash can of narratives. The way the show handled this legendary trio has left viewers wondering, was there ever a strategy, or was it destined to fail from the beginning, despite the possibility of tremendous drama and profound emotional payoffs? The characters themselves aren't the issue. The well-known B&B mainstays Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor have histories so extensive that they almost write themselves. A perfect storm of intriguing drama is created by Brooke's fierce independence, Ridge's battle to strike a balance between love and loyalty, and Taylor's kind but frequently excessively idealistic approach to relationships. However, recent choices made by the program have not taken advantage of these relationships, leaving both characters and viewers feeling lost. Brooke Logan, the phoenix that was broken. First, let's talk about Brooke Logan. As an astute entrepreneur, a fiercely protective mother, and a woman who isn't afraid to pursue her goals, Brooke has been a force to be reckoned with for decades. But new narratives have diminished her to a ghost of her former self. A cycle of heartache and uncertainty has supplanted Brooke's once defining fiery ambition. In the most recent storyline, Brooke is on the verge of giving up while Ridge keeps vacillating between her and Taylor. Although Brooke's life has always included tragedy, the narrative has lost much of its force due to the recurring frequency of her suffering. It seems as though the authors have forgotten that Brooke is most effective when she is standing up for her family, her work, or her honor. Rather than taking charge of her own life, she has turned into a passive participant who waits for Ridge to decide. Supporters have long called for Brooke to restore her independence and leave the Ridge-Taylor triangle. Imagine a plot in which Brooke uses her heartbreak to launch a new business and demonstrate that she is valuable without a man's approval. Rather, the program has reduced her to a never-ending cycle of emotional arguments and broken promises. The evasive hero is Ridge Forrester. The guy at the heart of it all, Ridge Forrester, comes next. Ridge has always been a contradictory figure, caught between his emotions and his intellect. Previously a source of drama, this internal conflict has now become his defining and draining trait. In the current plot, Ridge is unable to make a firm decision and alternates between Brooke and Taylor like a pendulum. Although he is naturally indecisive, the lack of development or resolution has made it a weakness rather than a quality. It's unclear to fans if Ridge truly loves either lady or whether he's just addicted to the rush of being wanted. This is a glaringly missed chance. Ridge might have been portrayed as a man who is incredibly self-reflective, facing his previous transgressions and working to improve as a partner. Rather, he appears to be a man-child who is unable to commit to anything other than his own desires. In addition to devaluing Ridge, this portrayal lowers the emotional stakes of the romantic triangle. The forgotten fighter, Taylor Hayes. Taylor Hayes, a character driven by compassion and a desire to do what is right, has long served as the bold and the beautiful's moral compass. Recent plots, however, have diminished her to a flat character whose only function is to lust after Ridge. The Taylor of old would never have let herself fall victim to such a destructive pattern. She was a strong lady who was prepared to leave Ridge if she felt that her dignity was under jeopardy. She now appears to be happy to take whatever morsels of love Ridge gives her. In addition to doing Taylor no justice, this portrayal squandered the chance to examine her complexity and resiliency. In a more interesting plot, Taylor might have completely distanced herself from Ridge and concentrated on her work and kids. Imagine a story in which Taylor uses her background as a therapist to empower young women in Los Angeles by serving as a mentor to them. Rather, the program has constrained her to a part that seems uninspired and simplistic. The endless triangle of love. The fundamental issue with the Brooke-Ridge-Taylor triangle is that it doesn't progress. The same rhythms are often heard: Taylor hopes, Brooke sobs, and Ridge waffles. The triangle has long been a pillar of B&B, but because the plot hasn't changed, it has become a parody of itself. Drama that is repeated is not enough for fans. They have a right to watch these characters develop, face their shortcomings, and aim higher. Imagine a plot in which Brooke and Taylor unexpectedly become allies after realizing that Ridge's hesitancy is a result of his flaws rather than their own. Imagine Ridge separating from both ladies in order to find his true self apart from his love relationships. These are the tales that have the potential to revitalize the triangle and give it a new sense of relevance and freshness. The effect of the wastebasket. What then occurs when a plot doesn't work? As the show tries to change its direction, it is ignored and thrown in the trash. However, the harm persists, weakening the audience's attachment to the characters and their adventures. For the bold and the beautiful, the mistreatment of Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor serves as a warning. It serves as a reminder that engaging storylines are necessary for even the most recognizable characters to stay interesting. Even the most cherished plots run the risk of becoming stale without development and reinvention. As the series progresses, it has a chance to save this story. B&B can turn a stale love triangle into a stirring tale of atonement and self-discovery by giving Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor the complexity and agency they merit. Will they step up to the challenge, or will this chapter end up in the trash can of lost chances? Nothing in the world of soap operas is ever really final. Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor could still have a chance to recover their story and their honor. In issues of the heart and when it comes to defending her family, Brooke Logan has never been one to back down from a challenge. Brooke's reasons are frequently questioned in the tumultuous drama of The Bold and the Beautiful, and her actions divide both characters and fans. However, the subject of what motivates Brooke to carry out her most recent plan, one that is expected to rock the foundations of everyone around her, comes up. Her every action is motivated by a complicated web of emotional, professional, and personal stakes. Preserving her family's tradition. Preserving the Forrester family legacy is one of Brooke's deepest drives. Being a key player in the Forrester empire, Brooke has dedicated her life to making sure the business continues to be a symbol of integrity and prosperity. Whatever shape her plan takes, it probably has to do with protecting this legacy from both internal and external dangers. Forrester Creations has had difficulties in recent months from many sides, including corporate treachery, personal grudges, and covert plans. Brooke is aware that the company is a symbol of her family's perseverance and hard work, not merely a business. She hopes to eliminate these dangers and provide a solid future for her kids and grandkids by carrying out her plan. A battle for loyalty and love. Although Brooke's love for Ridge Forrester is legendary, it has also caused a great deal of suffering and strife. Even if Ridge's hesitancy and shifting allegiances have tried her patience, Brooke's affections for him continue to be a strong source of inspiration. Her strategy might be her attempt to defend their relationship by showing Ridge that she is not just on par with him but also the one woman who can support him no matter what. But Brooke has more than just amorous motivations. Their relationship has frequently been in danger due to Ridge's history of being affected by outside factors, such as his own family and competitors. Brooke may be attempting to eliminate these influences by carrying out her strategy, making sure Ridge makes decisions based on his own preferences rather than external demands. Taking back her authority. Although Brooke has always been a strong, independent woman, recent events might have made her feel marginalized. Brooke may view her scheme as a means of regaining her agency in light of Ridge's incessant vacillation and the growing influence of individuals like Taylor Hayes and Daphne Rose. Perception is frequently just as important as action when it comes to power in the soap opera industry. Brooke may remind herself and everyone else that she is a strong woman by putting her daring plan into action. Regaining her authority is a deeply personal path of confidence and self-worth that goes beyond seeking approval from others. Protecting her connections. Beyond her personal connections, Brooke maintains a wide range of relationships. Her relationships with her kids, especially Hope, have always been essential to who she is. Brooke's thoughts have surely been troubled by Hope's recent personal and professional setbacks. Hope's motivation becomes even more obvious if she is involved in Brooke's scheme in any way. A mother's natural desire to keep her infant safe can push her to extreme measures. Brooke can view her strategy as a means of protecting Hope from danger, such as poisonous relationships, manipulative coworkers, or the demands of the Forrester family dynamics. Retaliation as a spark. It is possible that Brooke has a decent dose of revenge as part of his motive. Over the years, Brooke has experienced innumerable slights and betrayals, many of which have come from rivals like Taylor and others who don't think highly of her. Her motivation becomes a combination of justice and vindication if her plan include eliminating an enemy. This does not imply that Brooke has only malevolent intentions. She may view retaliation as much about leveling the playing field than it is about causing harm. Brooke makes sure she isn't the only one suffering from her past choices by making others answerable for their deeds. An opportunity for salvation. Even Brooke's most critical detractors have to admit that she is capable of self-reflection and development. Her acts rarely have no justification, even though they frequently spark controversy. Brooke's scheme might be her means of pursuing atonement, not only for herself, but also for others. Maybe she views her plan as a chance to make amends for previous transgressions, mend broken relationships, or make up for past sins that still haunt her. This motivation is quite intimate and speaks to Brooke's core identity as a woman who tries to uphold her moral convictions in spite of her imperfections. Managing the hazards. Naturally, there are risks associated with every strategy, and Brooke is accustomed to the fallout from audacious decisions. The possible consequences, which could include strained relationships, tarnished reputations, or even failure, must be outweighed by her motivation to see her plan through to completion. Brooke, however, does well under duress. Her resolve is only strengthened by the stakes, which makes her an even more powerful force. She doesn't take careless chances, rather, she makes calculated bets in an effort to achieve something bigger. In conclusion, Brooke's unwavering determination. Brooke Logan has several reasons for carrying out her plan, including her need to regain her authority, her love for her family, and her desire for justice. Her actions will surely have repercussions that impact everyone in her vicinity, regardless of her success or failure. The complexity of Brooke is what makes her narrative so captivating. She is a lady who is passionately and resolutely navigating the gray areas of life. She is neither wholly perfect nor wholly defective. Since nothing in the world of the bold and the beautiful is ever as straightforward as it sounds, viewers can only watch with bated breath as she proceeds with her plan. There is little doubt that Brooke has more motivation to finish her plan than merely reaching a particular objective. It's about demonstrating to Ridge, to herself, and to the rest of the world that she is a formidable opponent.